think Harrenhal Hall has probably been the biggest issue that most of the people have been talking about. I attended the Crime Watch meeting this past week, and it's something that I've been working on for my entire 8 years on the council. I've gone up to the State House and argued for legislation. It took about 4 years to get it some approved, and we've been working diligently for quite a while to try to do something about, reducing the number of sex offenders living there. So that's probably been, I would say, the most widely spoken about comment.
Chris? You're up. Chris
I'm
Sparks.
talking to Chris Papalakis, I'm sorry.
Nope.
There were two major issues that have come up in my neighborhood. One has been with the Edgewood Heights Neighborhood Association and the issues that they've had abutting a certain commercial property that is off of Mayflower Avenue, Linden Avenue, part of our neighborhood. The other issue that has come up is the existence of the PCBs that is at the end of Mill Street. So signs have gone up along Mill Street with, reflecting the existence of PCBs, warning people not to walk down there, and there aren't very many answers out there about what exactly is existing and what is airborne and what is not airborne, and a significant number of neighbors are concerned about that. So those are two major issues that have come up repeatedly for me in my travels.
Mr. Brady, you're up. 90 seconds.
Thank you so much. I would have to agree. I do hear a lot about sex offender issue in Harrenhal Hall. Currently there's 159 sex offenders registered in the city of Cranston. 24 of them are in Harrenhal Hall. I mean, that sounds like a large number because a lot of them are also in the ACI. There's 100 throughout the community. I'd like to applaud the city of Cranston and the Cranston Police for doing a great job and making sure they're monitoring this so that we live in a safe community. I'd like to continue to work with the Cranston Police and work with residents to make sure that we're safe. Furthermore, echoing what the school committee said in their earlier meeting, you hear a lot about the infrastructure of schools. So like they said, I can't stress enough, we need money. Obviously, as a council member, I'm going to do the best job that I can to look at the budget, look at revenues, look at expenses, try to increase budgets as I can, and actually bring in additional revenue through the use of small business and learning businesses into, obviously, so we can increase revenue there too.
Derek?
Around Cranston Stadium, I hear from residents that there are issues of speeding cars, particularly on Harmon Avenue. Also on Budlong, since it's a long road, they say that cars speed up and down the street, so we're going to do what we can to have the police address those. I also heard of concerns about Harrenhal Hall, and we speak about sex offenders often in my law classes at Roger Williams University, and that's something that we need to address. Maybe the parole board, why are these offenders getting let out on parole when they have more time on their sentences? Also, why are sentences so kind of light? I think we need to have a lot more strict sentencing for sex offenders, being that when they get back in the community, often they reoffend. Those are the two main concerns that I'll be looking to address my constituents.
Thank you. Lannis?
Well, Ward 1 is so diverse. We have so many people as well from different walks of life. So the issues definitely vary. We go from the old Siba-Geigy location, which is now vast, as far as what are we going to do. And they just recently had an open house where they were able to go ahead and discuss with the folks in the community as to what was happening. When you go ahead and go into the Patuxent Village, I've been hearing a lot of more speeding as well. And then I go into the other side of Ward 1, which is right in Montgomery, Providence, and Cranston side is that on that end. And what I'm hearing there is more of the trash picking up and the beautification of that area and making sure that we can actually invest in that side. Most importantly, what I've been hearing a lot from some of the parents is making sure that we go ahead and continue to fund our schools, that we continue to go ahead and repair our schools, keeping the guns away from the school, having a safe and warm school as well, which is why I encourage everyone to support for question 1, which is making sure that we support the $250 million referendum that's on the ballot this year.
John?
Yes, so in my journeys around Ward 3, I finished walking the entire ward and I'm hitting it again. I've heard numerous issues. Traffic is one. Laurel Hill was recently paved, of course, comes that the double-edged sword of higher traffic and more speed, so we need to address that, whether it's through additional funding for the police department. I think they have something like 8 patrol people on third shift, city of 80 whatever thousand people. We obviously need more funding for that, so that's one thing we can do. Up going towards the Arlington area, another issue that we hear constantly is things like light and infrastructure, and I think one way that we can address that is through additional funding for things like the sidewalk program. I know that was cut in recent years, so funding that so that we can maintain the sidewalks, help to beautify properties, waste management, making sure that the public is educated on some of the programs that are out there to assist in waste management and trash pickup. That way we can try and alleviate some of those issues. Of course, schools come up in any conversation at the door, so making sure that we're funding the schools. Of course, I support question 1, vote yes on that, and making sure that our schools are safe. People appreciate that I've been endorsed by the Rhode Island Coalition Against Gun Violence, as well as the local Cranston Teachers Alliance, because of my
10 seconds
for the schools at council meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom?
I hear a lot of issues as far as speeding cars up on South Comstock, Pippin Orchard Road. Putting more police in that area, it's, with 8 patrol officers on at night, it's a tough job. It's a tough job that our police do, and they do an excellent job with 8 people at night. As far as Harrenhal Hall, that's really, I think, the state should really buckle down and maybe put more security and better monitoring on these people that are walking down on Mayfield Avenue, Lower Oak Lawn, in areas such as that. The most important thing is having these people keep them away from children. Have bus monitors that are riding the buses, know who these people are in the area, and if they're doing something wrong, notify the police. I think if we work with the state and come to a solution to better monitor Harrenhal Hall and the people that occupy it.
Thank you. Stephen?
So most of the issues that I've heard about going door to door in Ward 6 are actually related to schools. Pretty much most of the things that we talked about at the school committee forum right before this were all things that I've heard at the doors. And other than that, most of what I've heard about are infrastructure issues related to development. For example, as Garden City and Chapel View have gotten bigger, there's been more issues. People have been telling me about people cutting through interstates, and there's been a lot of speeding on streets like that. And then people in Garden City have talked to me about similar traffic issues. And there's a street on Garden City called Zinnia, and a lot of people on that street have told me that, like, whenever it rains, runoff water from Garden City floods their yards, and issues like that are things that I would want to work